My name is Arthur Bell. I'm 81 years old. I've been strong for as long as I can remember, and only now do I understand what that strength took from me. I'm sitting at the small kitchen table in my apartment. The light comes in through the window in the late afternoon, and it doesn't reach as far as it used to. Nothing does. I don't have much reason to tell this story, except that I'm running out of time. And the truth has a way of getting louder when the future goes quiet. I'm not angry. I'm not looking for forgiveness. I just don't want this to disappear with me. When you get to my age, people assume you've made peace with everything, that you've sorted it all out, that you're full of wisdom and closure. The truth is, you mostly just have fewer places left to hide things. The noise dies down. The distractions thin out. And what's left is what you avoided thinking about when you were busy being useful. I was very useful. That's how I'd have described myself for most of my life. Reliable, capable, the one who handled things when others couldn't, the one who didn't fall apart, the one who stayed standing when things got heavy. People admired that about me. They said I was solid, steady, a rock. I wore those words like a badge. I didn't realize they were also instructions. Don't bend, don't ask, don't need. I grew up in a house where needing was dangerous. My father worked himself into the ground and still came home angry. My mother learned early that tears only made things worse. So I learned to swallow things whole. Feelings, disappointments, questions. You don't complain, you don't linger, you get on with it. That kind of upbringing doesn't feel dramatic when you're inside it. It just feels normal. You think everyone is bracing themselves the same way. In my 20s, I went straight into work. Not because I loved it, but because it was there. Manufacturing at first. Long shifts, loud floors. You learned to keep your head down and your hands busy. I was good at it. Showed up early, stayed late, didn't argue. That got noticed. Promotions came slowly, but they came. Supervisor, floor manager. Later, office work. I learned how to sit still and talk less. Learned how to be the calm one in the room when machines broke or schedules fell apart. I married young. Her name was Elaine. She laughed easily, which I didn't understand at first. She asked questions I didn't have answers for, about how I felt, about what I wanted. I gave her practical replies. We'll be fine. It'll work out. Don't worry. She mistook my certainty for depth. I mistook her patience for permanence. We had 2 children, a boy, then a girl. I loved them in the way I knew how. I provided. I fixed things. I showed up to school events when I could. I taught them how to ride bikes, how to lock doors, how to stand up straight. I don't remember ever telling them I was scared, or lonely, or unsure. That didn't feel like something a father did. Strength to me meant being unshakable. It meant not letting anything interfere with what needed to be done, and there was always something that needed to be done. Mornings started early. Coffee in the dark, quiet house. I liked that part. No one asking anything of me yet. I'd read the paper, fold it neatly, and leave it on the counter like a small gift. Then I'd go. I missed dinners more often than I remember. Not because I didn't care, but because staying late felt responsible. It felt necessary. There was always a reason. A shipment behind schedule. Someone called in sick, a problem only I could handle. I told myself I'd make it up later. That's the thing about strength. It convinces you there will always be later. Elaine would tell me about her day while I half listened, already tired, already somewhere else. I nodded. I offered solutions when she wanted understanding. I didn't know the difference then. Or maybe I did, and it felt safer to pretend I didn't. She stopped telling me certain things, not all at once, just gradually. I didn't notice. I was proud of how smoothly things ran at home. No drama, no chaos. I see now that silence can look a lot like peace if you don't look too closely. The kids grew. I worked more. That part happened so quietly it feels like a trick now. One day they're small and loud and need you for everything. Then suddenly they're gone most of the day, then most of the week, then most of their lives. I remember my son's high school graduation. I arrived late, still in my work clothes, stood at the back. I clapped when his name was called. He waved, but he was already looking for someone else in the crowd. Probably his friends, probably his mother. I told myself it didn't matter. I was there. I wasn't wrong. I was just incomplete. In my 40s, my body started sending messages I ignored: tightness in the chest, trouble sleeping, a constant ache behind the eyes. I drank more coffee, took more aspirin, told myself this was the price of responsibility. People depended on me. That mattered. What I didn't see was how much I depended on being needed. It gave shape to my days. It kept me from asking questions I didn't want answers to. Elaine and I began to live parallel lives. Same house, same routines, different inner worlds. She volunteered, made friends, went on walks. I stayed busy, fixed things that weren't broken yet. When she suggested we take a trip together, just us, I said, maybe next year. There was always next year. She stopped asking it. The kids moved out. The house got quieter. I liked that at first. Quiet felt like control. No messes, no interruptions, just tasks and television and sleep. Then Elaine got sick. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just tired all the time. Then tests, then waiting rooms. I sat in plastic chairs and read pamphlets while doctors used careful language. I was strong through it. I organized appointments. I drove her where she needed to go. I learned how to manage medications and schedules. Nurses praised me, said she was lucky to have me. I nodded. That was my role. But when she cried at night, I didn't know what to do. I held her hand. I stayed silent. I didn't tell her I was terrified. I didn't tell her I couldn't imagine the house without her. I thought staying calm was kindness. She died on a Tuesday morning in late October. The leaves were already mostly gone. I remember that because the drive home felt wrong without color. At the funeral, people told me how strong I was, how well I was holding up. I thanked them. That night, I sat alone in the living room and realized I had no idea how to be anything else. Strength had gotten me through everything except the part where I was supposed to feel it. After Elaine died, time became strange. Days passed without texture. I ate because it was time to eat, slept because it was night. The kids called, less often than I wanted, more often than I expected. They had lives. I was glad for that. Work became optional. I retired not long after. They threw me a small party, gave me a plaque, said I'd be missed. I put the plaque in a drawer when I got home. Without work, without Elaine, I was left with myself. That turned out to be unfamiliar territory. I started thinking about all the moments I'd postponed, conversations I'd delayed because they felt uncomfortable, hugs I hadn't initiated, words I assumed didn't need saying. I remembered a night, years earlier, when Elaine asked me if I was happy. I told her happiness wasn't the point. Stability was, security. She didn't argue. She just looked tired. I wish I'd asked her the same question. I wish I'd listened for the answer. My strength had kept the wheels turning, but it had also kept the doors closed. I thought I was protecting everyone by holding it together. What I was really doing was keeping them at a distance I could manage. The cost didn't arrive all at once. It came in small absences, in relationships that felt thinner than they should have, in being known less than I might have been. I see now that strength can be a kind of hiding, a way to avoid admitting that you don't know how to ask for help, or how to sit with uncertainty, or how to let someone see you when you're not useful. I don't blame my younger self. He did what he thought was right. He made choices that made sense at the time. The world rewarded him for them. That's what makes this harder. The damage didn't look like damage. It looked like success. Now, at 81, I live alone. I have routines. I walk in the mornings when the weather allows. I talk to the cashier at the grocery store longer than necessary. I read slowly. Sometimes I imagine telling Elaine all of this. Not in a dramatic way, just sitting at the table, the way we used to, and saying, I was wrong about some things. I imagine her listening. I imagine her sighing. I imagine her saying she knew. What's gone is gone. There's no fixing that. I can't go back and show up differently. I can't reopen moments that have closed. Time doesn't work that way, no matter how much you'd like it to. What I can do is tell the truth now, while I still can. If you're listening to this, I don't know where you are in your life. Maybe you're young and busy and proud of how much you can carry. Maybe you're in the middle, juggling responsibilities, telling yourself you'll rest later. I won't tell you what to do. I don't have instructions. I only know what it cost me to always be the strong one. It cost me closeness. It cost me being known. It cost me moments that don't come back. Strength isn't bad. It's necessary sometimes. But if it's the only thing you know how to be, it can hollow you out. I wish I'd known that being present mattered more than being impressive. That saying, I don't know, could have opened doors instead of closing them. That letting someone see you struggle doesn't make you weaker. It makes you real. I'm not saying this with bitterness, just clarity. My time is shorter now. I feel that in my bones. I don't need to make anything of it. I just wanted these words to exist somewhere outside of me. If this meant something to you, if it stirred something you've been carrying quietly, that's enough. You don't owe anyone a transformation, just maybe a moment of honesty with yourself. As for me, I'll finish my coffee. I'll watch the light fade from the kitchen floor, and I'll sit with what is, instead of what I told myself would be someday. That's all I have left to do.